the London club and in some cases in the Paris club. Tell us, like, how is the experience? Are they like, because I thought if I give someone money and if that person says no, I can't pay it, I will not be very happy with it, of course. How does it happen at the London club? Are they cool about it? Are they having coffee and just
Okay.
negotiating, or is it like really like a war room that people are really fighting? And how does this happen? Just tell us.
Okay. So basically, there are different restructuring rules.
Mm-hmm.
So so let's take the methodologies, right? How you can restructure a debt. So you can reschedule the debt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't pay now, but in the future you'll get so much richer that you can pay. So there you take a rescheduling argument. In some cases, what you say is basically we have to write off some of the debt because no other, if you don't write off, then we couldn't bring it down to a sustainable level and so on. So, and then we have conversion schemes where, you can convert external debt to domestic debt and so on. So there are different sort of rules regarding the restructuring types. Okay. And then the second part is you do this under a forum, a governing forum. So if it's a bilateral debt, then what we go to the Paris Club. But if you go to the Paris Club, then those people that you are negotiating there must be members of the Paris Club. Okay, so for example, China and India are not
Or not,
members.
yeah, in our
No,
case I
they
think
can be.
Japan
Yeah,
and yeah.
so because how the, the Paris Club works is that everybody is treated equally. So everybody agrees on something. So not so that you don't get one lender being favored as opposed to another lender. So somebody gets bigger, have to go through a bigger debt reduction than the other person. So this kind of equity kind of consideration is one of them. So that's what happens in the Paris Club. So it only deals with members of the Paris Club. It's a bilateral debt. The London Club is dealing with commercial bank loans and syndicated loans. So commercial bank loans basically, have what we call the London Club, and where most of the time it's only rescheduling. I mean, they wouldn't take anything else, rescheduling. So that's what takes place. And of course, for the sovereign fund, sovereign bonds, then we have this, we have to negotiate because basically many people hold it, right? Many people hold, SL, Sri Lankan sovereign bonds. So you got to have it's a way of getting the haircut, right? Getting somebody to agree. So these all depends because there are laws about the collective action clauses, what can be applied and so on. So usually you get if you get 75% or 85% under the London or New York rule, I can't remember. Um, you can go up to if 80% agreed and say we'll write off 20%, the rest have to agree, because there are holdout creditors, right? They don't want any haircut, but generally they have to agree or something. So I know lesser about those things. But in the Paris Club, so I haven't decided to go to the Paris Club. You have to prepare a number of things. It's because the Paris Club is a one-day event,
Okay.
basically. So one day they get into the room and they during the and they don't allow anybody. Okay, so they can have IMF and the World Bank as observers, but they don't say anything unless they have been asked to say something. And the country normally sits outside the room,
Right.
right? I mean, the ones that I've been to. But you have to prepare documents, right? So you have to have the IMF agreement, because otherwise, it's a compulsory thing. And then there are other clauses, what can be restructured and all this kind of stuff. And then they go through all that. And what they come out as collectively is called the agreed minute.
Right.
In that agreed minute, they will say, we are giving three options for you, right? The different countries have different options because originally they started with only one option. One, but now they have options, right? So either you have a debt reduction in the stock or in the flow, or there are yield reduction or something like that, right? I mean, don't take it from me, but something like that.
Yeah.
So some countries would prefer a risk reduction or something, the arrears write off or whatever, stock write off, or the flow rearrangement of the flows, right? Payments. So I think they can actually decide, and so the whole community together as Paris Club, they said we can give one of the three. They can take on one of the three. So that's what happens, and then this agreed minute would say, then you have to renegotiate with individual credit lender.
Lenders.
Yeah, so that goes on, a process that goes on for another 1 or 2 years. Okay, because you have to fit them, and then you go and see them separately, each country and so on. So that's what happens there. In the case of the London Club, in your rescheduling, there will be a leader, right? Basically, the kind of the person, the bank that has given the majority of the loans normally lead the team, and and then they will decide. And most of the time, there is not much you can do about debt reduction. They
Mhm.
don't write off, but what they do is they'll reschedule it for you. Just like when you go to the bank, you know, they won't say I will write it off, right? So basically, they'll say I'll give you another loan and some sort of extension, and then put a new interest rates, add a new interest rate on it. So this is what happens with that, and what comes out there also. IMF agreement is important for them. Also, they'll ask you, have you got the copy of the IMF agreement with this? So, and then, basically what comes out of that is called the head of terms, like the agreed minute, the heads of terms or something like that. So that underlines, we have to prepare to do this and this, because different banks may do it in different ways of the rescheduling, but there's a common thread. Okay, so that's that, and then of course sovereign bonds is through, you have to really negotiate. So then that's why you have those two, Clifford Chance and as a legal advisor, and Lazard Terry,
Lazard has the
yeah,
financial
as a
advisors.
financial advisor, because they've done it many times. They've done it in Zambia. They've done it in that I know in Nigeria, and so on. So you bring the experts together, and they have to negotiate with the investment bank and all the holders and all these kind of stuff. So this is what happens.
Okay.